SGC here, and we're back with a movie review. Neighbors, directed by Nicholas Stoller. If you don't know who he is, he directed previously The 5-Year Engagement back in 2012, Get Him to the Greek in 2010, and back in 2008, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Who was in this movie? Well, Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, Byrne, Dave Franco are the key players in this movie, and basically what the film is about is that Seth and Rose are a couple with a new kid living in one house, and Zac and Dave are living in the other house, and it's a frat house. And basically the entire film deals with how they react to each other, as Seth and Rose are like, quiet down, but we're not gonna quiet down, and there's this like friction and conflict, and that's pretty much how the movie carries out as they try to get at each other. So what I like about this film, I would say the biggest part I enjoyed was the whole characterization of each character. The whole couple with Seth Rogen and Byrne, I enjoyed that. I mean, I've seen Rose in previous wife characters. I enjoyed it a lot more here because it was more comedy. And Seth Rogen, I think I enjoyed him more because he wasn't playing his normal Seth Rogen self, as he was a father this time around. And I enjoy that, you know, the chemistry that they have. And Zac Efron, I don't know anything about him except that he's from High School Musical. I didn't know what to expect from him, and I enjoyed what he portrayed here. Like, I enjoyed the story arc that they gave him, like, about the character and like the whole inner struggle thing. And I guess the biggest surprise here would be Dave Franco. I've seen Dave in other stuff, but it was always a very small role, and this time around, even though he's a supporting actor, even though he's a supporting cast, he had a lot of lines, and he really, I don't know, I enjoyed his portrayal of just this kid who's just like, okay, I'm having enough fun and I'm gonna move on with life, sort of thing. Whereas Zac Efron's like, I don't know where I'm gonna go in life, and I enjoy that. And so yeah, I mean, the general plot is fun. Like, they get back at each other at times, though sometimes it gets repetitive, and this is going into the I don't like territory. There's a lot of repetition in this movie as they get back at each other, and it's just one-upping each other, and I don't know, it just felt like, oh, what's next? Like, I wasn't that surprised in terms of what came next. And it also, there was this whole being old message being very preachy, like it just extended way too long in the movie. But I mean, I give them for what they're trying to get at, and I think that's the biggest thing with this movie, is that they had inner struggles, and it wasn't just about them getting back at each other, but rather each character had their own problems, and they just had to deal with it throughout the time span of the movie, and I enjoy that. Sort of expected that, because the producers are the same guys that brought This Is the End, and This Is the End had all those like inner struggle dealings, and it carried out here as well. And I would say the biggest issue I had with this movie was that it wasn't particularly amazingly funny. Like, I laughed out loud a couple of times, but I don't think that there was more laughs than I thought there would have been. Hearing reviews, people really enjoyed this film, but I don't know, it just felt that I thought it would be more raunchy or just more comedy. But I felt it was more of a realistic dealing of issues of what would happen if a couple lived beside a frat house, beyond the vandalism thing. But I think the issues that each character dealt with, and I really did enjoy that, like I said, and I think that's what really shined for me in this movie. And yeah, I mean, overall there's not that much I disliked. I mean, it could have been funnier for sure, but I mean, I can forgive that, as they're trying to go in the like more realistic personal issues sort of route, and I'm like, okay. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for this movie review for Neighbors. Any comments, leave it below. Tell me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, and that is all. See ya.